Good morning, children. In last topic, we discussed error analysis. Four types of error analysis were discussed: absolute, mean, relative, and percentage error. Everything were discussed with the formula. I hope you all go through it once. You may well verse in that type of errors in error analysis. You may well verse in that. So using that, here one example 1.4 is given. A series of successive measurements in an experiment. The readings of the period of oscillation of a simple pendulum were found to be 2.60 second, 2.56 second, 2.42 second, 2.71 second, and 2.80 second. Then they're asking mean value of the period of oscillation, the absolute error in each measurement, the mean absolute error, the relative error, the percentage error. These questions are asked here. So there is a solution. So first we'll find out here for first mean value of this period of oscillation. So for mean value we are writing the formula Tm is equal to T1 plus T1 plus T2 plus T3 plus T4 plus T5. If 7 given means plus T6 plus T7 will comes. If nth value is given means plus up to Tn we can write. Divided by how many values are there? 5. Divided by 5. We are adding all that. Then we are dividing that. That answer is 2.624. Is accurate value. We are rounding up for second decimal point. This third decimal value is 4. It is lesser than 5. Then we can write as 2.62. Simply we can drop that. About the rounding up we will see later. Next, absolute error, and there is a formula for absolute error. Delta T is equal to Tm minus T. This is a formula for absolute error. Then we are writing the formula delta T1 is equal to Tm. So Tm just now we found no. What is Tm value? That is 2.62. This is Tm value. Then delta T1 is equal to 2.62 minus 2.63 is equal to minus 0.01 second. Then delta T2 is equal to 2.62 minus 2.56 plus 0.06 second. Delta T3 is equal to 2.62 minus 2.42 plus 0.20 second. Delta T4 is equal to 2.62 minus 2.71 minus 0.09 second. Then delta T5, same method, we are getting the answer minus 0.18 second. This is called as absolute error. Next is mean absolute error. That mean absolute error is the formula summation of delta Ti divided by n. So we are adding all the delta T1, T2, delta T3. Then we are finding the average for that. Then 0.01, 0.06. We are adding all that value and we are getting the answer 0.11 second. Here the minus symbols should be avoided. It is showing only the difference. So don't take that as minus. Okay, we have to take all the values as plus. But actually we got as minus. No, this is there is a minus here minus, but while substituting in this average we should not take that minus, everything should be added, then that mean value is calculated. Then we are rounding up this value, we are getting the answer as 0.108 will become 0.11. And fourth one is relative error. So what is the fourth one? It is relative error, and this relative error we are using the formula St is equal to delta Tm divided by Tm. So what formula we are using? Delta Tm by Tm. So that formula is 0.11 divided by 2.62, that 0.0419, then answer is 0.04. Then percentage error we can write this value should be multiplied with the 100, and the percentage error is equal to 4 percentage. The time period of simple pendulum is, we can write here as 2.62 plus or minus 4 percentage, that is called as time period. Okay, so this 4 percentage will become from where? From percentage error, and 2.62 already we got in first derivation, 2.62 second. So the time period may be vary 2.62 percentage, sorry, plus or minus 4 percentage is the answer for time period. So we got the answer for all the 5 errors. Okay, in asked in question. Next, propagation of error. So what is propagation of error? Is nothing but we are measuring the different values, number of values we measure. So at final calculation we are finding the resultant for all the different values. if we are handling the different instrument means some difficulties may be there. So if the different difficulties, different errors are there in different instrument means, now we can write the errors happened in this all the different instrument, that is called as propagation of error. And the final results may be depends on, one is the error may be in individual measurement, happening in the individual measurement, or the nature of mathematical operation. Okay, so maybe these two possibilities are there to get the propagation error. So here to find and different kinds of propagation error and different types how we can do, that is explained here. The first type is error in the sum of two quantities. Okay, so before that you mark question answer. And in propagation error the final results depends on what means, you can mark these 2 points. Okay, and what is called propagation error means you can mark from there to here, up here for 2 mark question. Okay, define propagation of error and what are the error in the final results depends on these 2 points you can write. This is important question, you mark as important. And first type, error in the sum of two quantities. So based on the sum, error how it is happening between the two quantities will be discussed here. For that we are considering, say we having the two quantity delta A and delta B. These two are absolute errors in two quantities for A and B respectively. Then measured value of A is A plus or minus delta A, and in B measured value is B plus or minus delta B. So we are adding these two, Z is equal to A plus B. So after adding that, we are going to find in the resultant error is called as delta Z. So what is error in the resultant is delta Z. Okay, and then we are writing the formula Z plus or minus delta Z is equal to A plus or minus delta A plus B plus or minus delta B, and this is the answer here. And in next step the delta A and delta B will become as a single format, then A plus B in another one format, and this A plus B is nothing but Z plus or minus delta A plus delta B. Then we can write delta Z is equal to, because this Z and this Z will be get cancelled, these two will be get cancelled, then answer will become delta Z is equal to delta A plus delta B. So this is what, this is nothing but error in the sum of two quantities. So what is that? Error in the sum of two quantities. So from the final equation 1.3, we can write the maximum possible error is nothing but the sum of two quantities. Okay, from the absolute error of the individual quantities, this is the answer we are getting for this addition. An example is given there. It is very simple example. It is like a explanation what we did for equation 1.3. Example 1.5. Two resistors are given R1 R2, that values are also given. How it is connected? In series connection. In series connection means we know that formula from the 10th standard syllabus. R is equal to R1 plus R2. Do you remember, dear children? We used this formula for series connection. Okay, so marandiruchna or time eduthu paathuko, R is equal to R1 plus R2. Then we are using substitution, 100 plus or minus 3 plus, this is from question, 150 plus or minus 2. Then that 3 and 2 separated, it will become 250 plus or minus 5 ohm. This is answer for this. This is the addition error. Okay, and next is error in the difference of two quantities. So like the previous one, we are taking here delta A and delta B are the absolute error in two quantities for A and B respectively, and measured value of A we can write as A plus or minus delta A, and measured value of B is B plus or minus delta B, and the difference between that is A minus B, and then we can write the error Z plus or minus delta Z is equal to A plus or minus delta A minus B plus or minus delta B. This is the formula. Here it is difference, so we are using this minus symbol. Okay, and next is we can write this as A minus B plus or minus delta A, then minus or plus delta B. Then we can write Z plus or minus delta A minus or plus delta B, because A minus B is nothing but we have taken as Z. Then delta Z is equal to delta A plus delta B. this maximum error in this difference, we can write that two quantities is equal to the sum of absolute error in the individual quantities. Understood? This one we got from the equation number 1.4. So what we got here, equation 1.4, we got this answer. Okay, and there is an example for this. Example 1.6 is also like a last one. The two temperature values are given, which is measured using the thermometer T1 and T2 respectively. Then we are calculating the temperature difference and error. Then the answer will become temperature difference T is equal to T2 minus T1. Then we are subtracting using equation 1.4. Then we are getting the answer. Simple step, 30 plus or minus 1 degree Celsius. I hope it's very easy for you. And next topic is error in the product of two quantities. So as usual, delta A and delta B is taken from A and B respectively. Then the formula Z is equal to, we can write as A into B. Then the error of Z, the resultant will be taken as delta Z. Then we can write the formula Z plus or minus delta Z is equal to A plus or minus delta A into B plus or minus delta B. Then AB plus or minus A delta B plus or minus B delta A plus or minus delta A into delta B. Then we are dividing left hand side by Z and right hand side by AB to balance the equation. Okay, and see the left hand side, it is divided by Z. So this Z will become 1. It will be cancelled now. And this Z can be written here as 1 plus or minus delta Z by Z. Understood? And see the next one. Here the right hand side, it is divided by AB. If we are divided by AB means these two will be cancelled, it will become 1. Then A delta B divided by AB will come. A and A will get cancelled here. Then B will come for this. Here B will be cancelled, then A will comes here. And here A and B both are still we are having here delta A delta B divided by A into B. Okay, we got from this. And next step is delta A by A and delta B by B. These two are small quantities because delta A is error of the quantity of A. Delta B is the error quantity of B. When we are dividing that error with that quantity means that value will become very small. So it is small, then we can neglect that. The last term is neglected. This term delta A divided by A and delta B by B is neglected. Then the last equation can be written as delta Z by Z plus or minus delta A by A plus delta B by B, and one both the sides. Here one is there, here one more one. These two are get cancelled, and then we are getting the equation 1.5. Okay, and this error is nothing but product, the sum of fraction errors of individual quantities. This is the answer we are getting from this for product. And there is an example for this product. And length and breadth of rectangle is given. Then they are asking to find the area of the rectangle. Okay, and using the equation 1.5, we are getting the answer. We are substituting, then the answer will become 1.48, that is rounded to 1.5. Then area with the limit 19.4 plus or minus 1.5 centimeter square. This is the answer for this. The easy method, just to work it out, children. And next is fourth one, error in the division or quotient of two quantities. So same story, delta A and delta B is taken absolute errors of two quantities and respectively. It is division now. Then the resultant Z will be taken as A by B. So here delta Z in Z is given Z plus or minus delta Z, A plus or minus delta A divided by B plus or minus delta B. Then from this equation A will be taken as common. So it comes A 1 plus or minus delta A by A we got. And from this B will be taken out. So inside the bracket 1 plus or minus delta B by B will comes. Okay, and then we are doing in this method, what we are doing is A by B, in this A by B is taken out, then 1 plus or minus delta A by A will come now. Here A by B is taken out. A by B is taken out means 1 plus or minus delta A by B, and this value will comes up means it will acquire the inverse symbol. Okay, so this A by B is taken common as out. then this down part will comes upside with the inverse symbol, or we can write z plus or minus delta z is equal to what is a by b from this z, then we can write z 1 plus or minus delta a by a, 1 plus or minus delta b by b. This plus or minus can be written as minus or plus. This inverse is opposed, means this plus or minus will be converted as this plus or minus can be written as what, minus or plus delta b by b. And we are using the method 1 plus x whole power n. This is binomial theorem. So what is the theorem? Binomial theorem. About this you will study in maths. Binomial theorem, this equation can be written as 1 plus nx. Say x is very lesser than 1 means we can write the equation 1 plus or minus, what we are doing is dividing by z. 1 plus or minus z by z will become 1, z delta z divided by z of this z will be get cancelled now. Then we can write this z is also cancelled, then 1 plus or minus delta a by a, 1 minus or plus delta b by b. And same equation can be written as 1 plus or minus delta a by a minus or plus delta b by b plus delta a by a into delta b by b. Okay, so from this we got this equation. Okay, and as a terms delta a by a and delta b by b both are small. Delta a by a and delta b by b, then it's small, it can be neglected. So neglecting, we are writing delta z by z delta a by a plus delta b by b. This is equation 1.6, and this is individual fractional errors. Two quantities is equal to sum of individual fractional errors, and it is explained. We got this, and based on this one example is given, and in that example 1.8 the voltage across the wire, which is 100 plus or minus 5 voltage, and current is given as 10 plus or minus 0.2 ampere. They are asking find the resistance of the wire. Then using this equation we are getting the answer 10 plus or minus 0.7 ohm. Okay, it is given. It is very simple method that we are getting from that. Okay, and you know this formula r is equal to v by I, you know very well. So this equation we studied last year. From this formula v is equal to IR. So what law it gives this, which law is giving this formula? Can you recall once again? You studied in 10th standard. This is nothing but a Ohm's law which is given here. Okay, last year we studied now. So using that we are explained. And next type is, the last type is error in power of quantity. So power is taken, so nth power will be taken as z is equal to a power n. Then error delta z in z can be written as z plus or minus delta z. What? Z plus or minus delta z, and a plus or minus delta a power n is equal to, we can write a power n of 1 plus delta a divided by a power n. Then z of 1 plus or minus n delta a by a, and we are using the binomial method. In that binomial method we can have a formula 1 plus x whole power n is equal to 1 plus nx when x is very lesser than 1 அப்படின்ற மாதிரி நம்ம கன்சிடர் பண்ணிக்கிறோம். Then we are dividing both the sides with the z அப்படின்றப்போ then first term will become 1, this is will become 1, this delta z by z. So 1 plus or minus n delta a by a r, you can write delta z by delta z is equal to n delta a by r. 1 get cancelled. In the derivation நம்ம previously பண்ண மாதிரியே தான். Okay, so general rule is given, z is equal to a power p b power q divided by c power r இருந்துச்சுன்னா it becomes like this. Okay, the percentage error we can multiply with the percentage of 100 value, then we will get the answer. In general rule we are used and we got the equation. So 1.7 is the main equation for the power, and based on that one example is given, that is example 1.9. A physical quantity q is given, that value is given, the errors are given for a b c d is, percentage errors are 4, 2 and 3, last is 1 percentage, and we are using the formula x is equal to a square b cube by c square root of d. Okay, so it is given here, and we are substituting, we are getting the percentage error x is given by delta x by x 100, then using the equation. Okay, so 2 delta a by a, then 3 delta b by b, into 100 like that. For 4 we are substituting, then solving, that answer will become 0.5 percentage. Okay, then the percentage of error is, we are adding all the three, 8, 6, 3 and 0.5 percentage. Last value is 0.5 percentage, we are adding all that, then percentage error will become as 17.5 percentage. Understood children? Okay, and now you can mark questions. எல்லா சம்ஸையும் ஒர்க் அவுட் பண்ணி பாருங்கள், எல்லா பாட்டையும் படித்து பாருங்கள். Okay, so you can mark the answer up to here. Okay, இது வரைக்கும் மார்க் பண்ணிங்க. ஸோ இது வரைக்கும் மார்க் பண்ணிங்க, எரர் இன் தட் குவான்டிட்டி. ஓகே, இது வரைக்கும் எதில் இருந்துன்னா ஃப்ரம் த ஃபஸ்ட் ஒன் ப்ரொபகேஷன் ஆஃப் எரர் இருக்குல்ல, ஸோ ஃபஸ்ட்டில் இதில் ஆரம்பித்து லாஸ்ட் வரைக்கும் மார்க் பண்ணிக்கங்க. எக்ஸப்ட் எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ், எந்த எக்ஸாம்பிளையும் இன்க்ளூட் பண்ண வேணாம். எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ் வந்து தனி. ஓகே, இது ஃபுல்லாக இன்க்ளூட் பண்ணி ஒரு 5 மார்க் கொஷின், மேபி இதுக்குள்ளேயே 2 or 3 மார்க் கொஷின்ஸும் கேட்க சான்ஸ் இருக்குது. இது ஃபுல்லாக தரவு பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா இட் வில் பி ஈஸி ஃபார் 2 or 3 மார்க் கொஷின்ஸ். ஓகே, and rest of the topics we'll discuss in next class. And today's homework, you do example 1.5 and 1.6 மட்டும். எக்ஸாம்பிள் 1.5ஐயும் 1.6 மட்டும் ஹோம்ஒர்க்காக பண்ணு. சம்ஸ் நல்லா பார்த்துட்டு தென் வேல்யூஸ் நீ நோட் பண்ணிவிட்டு தென் பார்க்காம ஒர்க் அவுட் பண்ணி எனக்கு ஃபோட்டோ எடுத்து சென்ட் பண்ணு. ஓகே, தேங்க்யூ சில்ட்ரன், வில் மீட் இன் நெக்ஸ்ட் கிளாஸ்.